Ladies and gentlemen,
you know, I always like to take this opportunity to talk about myself.
The man of the hour.
And let me tell you something, Daddy.
When you're the man, you make history every time you step foot in this ring.
And that's the bottom line.
Wrestling Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 109 of the Sweet Wrestling Podcast. We got a lot to get into, ladies and gentlemen. NXT, AEW, EC3, Money in the Bank preview, a lot. Just stick with your boy. So you can find me at linktr.ee/2sweetpod. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to waste any more time. The link is where you can find all my listens for this podcast on Twitter at 2sweetpod and at OMGCoreyBS. Well, so we are going to hop into a couple of segments, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, the soapbox I posted on Twitter, got something in sports that grinds your gears. Where the soapbox segment is for you. Comment anything that you have a problem with and you will be featured on the next episode. So we got a response from MSE Pro Wrestling. They said, in sports, I really don't like it when people spend the majority of a baseball game doing anything but watching baseball, and don't get me started at people who leave early to beat the traffic. Like, oh my goodness, that is a worldwide sports thing for me. I cannot stand watching basketball, watching somebody that has courtside seats. Like, do anything on their phones, looking at something else. Like, you have courtside seats, watch the game. I'd kill for courtside seats. So, man, I feel your pain on that one. And the fans that beat the traffic, they are just not true fans, man. I feel your pain on that one as well. So that is the response for the soapbox segment this week. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Labs of the Week news segment this week. And first up for the Labs of the Week, we have the Asuka, Nia Jax, Shayna segment from Monday Night Raw. And it was hilarious. Asuka talking her talk and Nia Jax in a rare moment giving me entertainment. Like, this has been the only time that I've been legitimately entertained by Nia Jax. Asuka and Shayna Baszler are going at it, and Nia Jax has this look where she just realizes the jig is up, and Asuka and Shayna just nails her and knocks her out of the ring. The look she had on her face was just hilarious, man. So moving on to the next part of the last Labs of the Week, the North segment on Impact Wrestling. This was great, and we're going to look at it right now.
Please, man! Wild! Oh, they love us! Hey, North. What are you doing? What am I doing? I'm listening to this guy talk trash. Jeez, really? You're talking to the champ like that? We got a guy wearing a North t-shirt. This guy knows exactly what he wants. Look, come on, man. Love our fans, Josh. Love our fans. Please. Is it gonna make you happy? Yes. It's gonna make them happy. The draw just dropped by 33%.
This was hilarious, man. It was the North versus the Creeps. We had a segment. They were supposed to face the Best in Canada, and the entrance and the interaction with the fans just was hilarious. The entire thing was great. Of course, they beat the Creeps, and this was just in these times, in these trying, tough times that we have with wrestling. This was a hilarious segment. Well done. Well freaking done. I absolutely loved it. So moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we had The Undertaker. He roasted Booker T. So we're going to take a look at 10 seconds of that.
Book, my goodness, man. If anyone needs to be roasted, it's your ass.
And look, man, this was just great. He talked about a Red Bull story. Talked about how Booker T made him do the spin-a-rooney once. And just great, man. Just also strange to see The Undertaker not in character, but he's easing out of that more and more as we go on. So that was absolutely great. Moving on to the last topic, Sammy Guevara, man. I'm watching AEW and we have the street fight, and poor old Sammy Guevara is just running for his life, man. And he's getting chased down in a golf cart by Matt Hardy, and he gets nailed. absolutely nailed with that golf cart, man. Poor Sammy Guevara, that was hilarious. So those are your laughs of the week. We are gonna move on, ladies and gentlemen, into the Money in the Bank preview predictions, excuse me. So first up, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna waste any time with it. We have the men's Money in the Bank matchup. This is gonna be going simultaneously on with the women's Money in the Bank matchup at the same time, and it sounds like a cluster, but you know what? I'm gonna give it a chance. We're gonna look at who's gonna win, and you know what? We're gonna do the process of elimination. I don't think Rey Mysterio is winning. I don't think King Corbin is winning. I got Otis out, so that leaves me down to Daniel Bryan versus Aleister Black versus AJ Styles. I know this is going to be a phenomenal match, or phenomenal 2 matches. At the end of the day, I don't necessarily think AJ Styles is going to come right back and win the Money in the Bank. So, you know what? I am going to go way out on the limb and say that Aleister freaking Black will win the Money in the Bank. That would make me so entirely happy that I hope it happens this Sunday. I'm gonna pick him to win the men's Money in the Bank. Should be a great 2 matches. And speaking of those 2 matches, we have the women's Money in the Bank. Asuka versus Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Carmella. Looking at the process of elimination here, I don't think Dana Brooke is winning here. I got Carmella. I don't see her winning. So we have a lot more believable choices here in my estimation. That leaves Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, and Lacey Evans. I'm gonna say Asuka and Shayna Baszler is out because they just got destroyed by Becky Lynch. Asuka got destroyed and Shayna Baszler tapped out. I don't see her coming straight back and getting the Money in the Bank briefcase. So you know what, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna piss a lot of people off. But at the end of the day, Nia Jax is gonna win this women's Money in the Bank. I got bad news. I am Wade Barrett today. I've got some bad news. Nia Jax will be your winner. She will climb top of that ladder and grab the briefcase. Moving on to the WWE Championship matchup, Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. This was a feud that kind of came out of nowhere, but nevertheless, they've done a great job with it. And it has been a good build as we head into Money in the Bank. Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, it should be an awesome matchup. For the result here, look, there's no way Drew McIntyre is losing here. Like, you just won it at WrestleMania. They're gonna have an awesome matchup. Will it end cleanly? I'm not entirely sure on that one because this seems like a feud that will move on going forward. Drew McIntyre picks up the win here, however, and retains the WWE Championship. Speaking of championships, we have Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. I really felt that once this match was made, once this feud started, I said WWE has booked themselves into a corner. Like, you don't want Bray Wyatt losing, and I understand that they may feel like they have a out here that it's not the Fiend, it's Bray Wyatt, and I don't really buy that one myself. It's Bray Wyatt, it's the Fiend, they're one of the same. That's the way I look at it. Looking at the match, it's gonna be a very interesting matchup. Will it be good? I'm not entirely sure. I know Bray Wyatt can go in the ring. Braun Strowman can be a little hit or miss, but Braun Strowman, I think, will pick up the victory here. Bray Wyatt will lose, and I don't like it, man. I don't like Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, or whomever you're calling him these days, taking a loss here, but he will, as Braun Strowman will pick up the victory. Moving on, we have Bayley versus Tamina. I thought that in these few weeks or whatnot that Tamina has been displayed. They've built her up more than she has been built up in her entire WWE career. You know what? I am starting to like Tamina just a tad. And you know what? That is a step in the right direction. The Bayley title run, I don't want to say it has gotten stale, but it can use a real shot in the arm. I'm hoping that this is going to be a good match. We shall see. But obviously, I think the long-term plan here is Bayley versus Sasha at SummerSlam. So Bayley will retain the championship here. Next up and last, ladies and gentlemen, we have the New Day versus the Forgotten Sons versus the Miz and John Morrison versus the Lucha House Party. I don't understand why this is a 4-way matchup. The Forgotten Sons have picked up the victories over the New Day and the Miz and John Morrison. They should have a singles title shot with the New Day, but it is what it is. This is going to be a phenomenal matchup, another multi-man matchup. This is a tough pick here. The Lucha House Party is clearly out. They're not winning. But the Forgotten Sons have a good case here. I'm not the biggest fans of them, but they look legit. But your winners will be the New Day. I think they retain the titles here. Overall, man, I think Money in the Bank is normally one of the pay-per-views that I really extremely look forward to. One of the pay-per-views that's not one of the big four. So I'm looking forward to this one. The fact that we will have two Money in the Bank matchups going at the same time, I have no earthly idea how that's gonna work out. Like I've previously said, somebody's not gonna get shine here. Like, we have 12 people, and will all 12 of those people get the proper shine that they deserve? I'm not sure. I don't think so, unless we have a 40-minute affair here. I don't think it's gonna happen here, but we'll see how it all turns out. We'll see how the pay-per-view turns out, ladies and gentlemen. So moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we had a very interesting Twitter video to come out, and it came from EC3. We're going to take a look at that right now.
Define workhorses. Dependable, steady, reliable. Define teamwork. Putting an objective over the accomplishment of the individual. Define tag team. 2 singularities. 1 vision. Boots, trunks, fists, no flips. The classics never die. Masters of the lost art of applying complicated formulas executed to precision. In an industry where respect of your peers, studying your craft, painting in-ring masterpiece brings you nothing but ire and resentment, you rise above. FTW. No. FTR. Fear the revolt. Your names are Dax and Cash, and you've been warned.
Man, how about that? I'm seeing all of these EC3 videos, and you know what? He's doing a great job in them. And in this one, he talks about the revolt, formerly known as the Revival. And man, I gotta say, that was greatly done. He put them over. He said, "Fear the revolt," and that got me asking all kind of questions. First of all, as I've been asking, how did WWE blow it with EC3 so badly, man? The guy can talk. I watched him come up from nothing in Impact Wrestling. The guy is great. He holds your attention when he talks. He is phenomenal. Second of all, he's repackaged himself really well, man. Just greatly done. But as it pertains to the Revolt, like, is this a package deal we're getting with the Revolt and EC3? Like, is EC3 going to be about this? Are they going to be a stable? This has me asking all kinds of questions, man. Look, originally, when I was going to talk about the Revolt on this podcast, it was going to be about the Chris Jericho interview. But you know what? I saw that EC3 video on Twitter, and I said, you know what? Let's scrap this. This has my attention. This is the big thing right now, because I am very interested to see where these guys go. And it seems like they are all going to the same place, whether that be AEW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan. I am not sure. Your guess is as good as mine. NWA, Ring of Honor, I do not know, but I am very interested to see how it turns out, ladies and gentlemen. As we move on, WWE ratings. Like, they had the lowest had the lowest all-time rating. Like, it was the lowest all-time. Like, that is bad, man. Raw, look, it no longer feels like the A show. And by the A show, I mean between Raw and SmackDown. Raw was picking up a lot of steam, man, and it was picking up a lot of steam because they were focusing a little bit more on wrestling, and now they've kind of strayed away from that. And now we got a lot of matches on Raw that don't feel important. We have matches with Selena Vega's stable, the Vega Boys. and it's matches of them losing, and there's not a whole lot of importance being displayed as it pertains to WWE Raw, and people are tuning out, man. It's 3 hours. If you don't make it feel important, people are gonna tune out. And here's the thing I worry about, man. I think that WWE is gonna panic. And as always, they're gonna bring an old guy back. Let's bring back somebody old to pop the ratings. Where's Steve Austin at? Let's try to find The Rock. Let's try to find Hogan. And like, that is just not the long-term answer, man. You're putting a band-aid on a gash, and they have to address the fact that, you know what, they need to do better. And Vince McMahon has blamed it on a lot of stuff and said that, well, Brock Lesnar isn't there. Like, no, man, just stick to a formula. Get a formula and stick to it. Let it be wrestling heavy for once, and maybe the ratings will pick back up, man. And I know a lot of people say, well, the ratings aren't important. And look, man, I understand the ratings aren't what they used to be, but at the end of the day, they got the lowest all-time rating. You know how many times Raw has been preempted for dog shows and still didn't pull that rating? Like, this is bad, and it is important in my estimation. Moving on to something else that's important, Becky Lynch. I'm now calling her Becky Lesnar. She's going to be there next week and confront the Money in the Bank winner on Raw. Maybe WWE has given away who's going to win. I don't know. But look, man, at the end of the day, like, where has Becky been, man? Like, her title reign was already starting to fizzle, and now it doesn't feel important at all to me. Like, she's gonna confront the people or the person who wins, like, and so what? Like, it doesn't feel important. Becky has been MIA the whole month, and like, I just cannot get with her and her title reign. I wish her the best. We'll see how it turns out next Monday, but at the end of the day, I'm just not excited for her. So moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on into something that I am partially excited about. It is the Impact #1 Contendership Tournament, and I gotta say that this is very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, you know what, man? And I know I say at the end of the day a lot here, man. I'm glad that Impact is doing something, but we look at the matchups. We have Rohit Raju versus Trey, Sami Callihan versus Elgin, Fulton versus Hernandez, Shamrock versus Rhino. And I gotta say that the two people that I thought would be in the front for the Impact World Championship in a tournament like this, they're facing off in the first round, Sami Callihan and Michael Elgin. And like, I gotta say that this is a bad draw in my estimation. Looking at the rest of the tournament, I think Trey picks up the win over Rohit Raju. Shamrock picks up the win over Rhino. Fulton moves on. And at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be Sami Callihan versus Ken Shamrock again in the rematch, where it needs to be Sami Callihan versus Michael Elgin. Although that's okay. You know what? One of them is gonna be on the outs. Maybe the person that loses is gonna eventually get a title shot. Michael Elgin is very deserving. But you know what? You can't have Sami Callihan lose to Ken Shamrock and then lose in the first round of this tournament. So I think Sami Callihan will pick up the victory. I think he will go on to win this tournament, and he will go on to face Tessa Blanchard. And I have him beating Tessa Blanchard in that match up. So it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. The matches are going to be obviously very good. So we'll see how this all turns out moving forward. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move on into some AEW and NXT. We're going to look at some of the highlights here, not necessarily everything. It was a crazy, absolutely crazy 2 shows last night, man. A crazy Wednesday, man, that I absolutely loved. So we started we're going to start with AEW. We had Janela and Cody Rhodes. And this was an excellent opener. I gotta say that AEW does such a great job when the result is obvious. Sometimes they make the person that's losing look really good. In this case, Cody versus Joey Janela. Look, we know Cody is in the finals of the TV title tournament. and he's gonna win here. But they made Joey Janela look good. It was a competitive matchup. I really appreciate that. At the end of the day, obviously Cody Rhodes picks up the victory, and I'm totally fine with that because they made Joey Janela look really good. Moving on to some other highlights here. MJF, man, he's gonna be back in action next week. He cut a killer promo, man. Talked about how he's a 24-year-old man and went at the people that's always hating on him and always comparing him to the greats. This guy is the future for AEW, and I gotta say that, you know what? He has a match against Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing. I really feel like that came out of nowhere. Like, I really wish we would have built up to that, but you know what? It is what it is. We still have some time to build that match as we head into Double or Nothing. Looking at another matchup, ladies and gentlemen, we had the world champion back on TV, Jon Moxley versus Kazarian. And I gotta say, this is another case where the result was obvious, but they made a person that's been on the roster since day one look really good here. Kazarian looked really good here. I enjoyed the hell out of this match, man. It was done really well. Moxley picks up the victory here. But that was not all, ladies and gentlemen. We had the Dark Order come down and they laid a beat down on Jon Moxley. And I gotta say, it was well done. We got Brody Lee to come out and he cut a great promo on Jon Moxley. What was WWE thinking, not giving this guy the mic more? Like, I don't get it. Talking about how Jon Moxley was a scared boy from Cincinnati. Is he a scared boy from Cincinnati? He said that he wanted a title shot, and you know what? Jon Moxley obliged, and he gave him his title shot. I cannot wait to see how Brody Lee versus Jon Moxley builds up. This is gonna be awesome. I'm hyped for it. This is a great feud. The Dark Order looks legit because Brody Lee is legit. That was the problem all along. They didn't have anybody who was legit in the Dark Order. Brody Lee looks legit. He looks intimidating, and he can talk on the mic. And I cannot wait for this match at Double or Nothing. Moving on, we had Lance Archer in a match with QT Marshall. Didn't exactly kill him, but he picked up the victory here. This was not the story of the matchup. Jake Roberts, man. Brandy was at ringside, and you know what? Brandy caught a DDT, and she was rolled into the ring, and Jake pulled out the snake, and we had an old school 90s Jake's the Snake moment here. He pulls out the snake, and it got a little uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie, but good uncomfortable in a way that, you know what? It built up some sympathy for Brandy Rhodes, for Cody Rhodes, and you know what? Jake the Snake, man, looks like a dastardly heel. Well done, AEW. I loved it. Moving on to the main event, ladies and gentlemen, we had Omega and Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho in a street fight. I love the blue pants attire that I saw. We had some sick spots in this match, man. It spilled to the backstage area. Kenny Omega had a sick moonsault off of the lift. We had, like I mentioned earlier, Sammy Guevara running away from the golf cart, but at the end of the day, Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho picks up the victory here. That's how we would close the show. An absolutely awesome street fight that I love, ladies and gentlemen. Job well done, AEW. I loved the show last night. Moving on to some of the highlights from NXT. We had Johnny Gargano with the new theme. It doesn't slap like Rebel Heart. I don't like it all that much, but you know what? It's going to take some getting used to. He faced off with Dominic Dijakovic. We had many near falls and what was an excellent opener. At the end of the day, and I know I say at the end of the day a lot, Johnny Gargano picks up the win with the springboard DDT here. And you know what? I'm very interested in heel Johnny Gargano with heel Candice LeRae. And speaking of pairings that I'm interested in, man, Carry-On Kross, excuse me, and Scarlett Bordeaux, they had what is in the front running of entrance of the year. And it was so absolutely well done, ladies and gentlemen. I loved every second of it. The entrance, the theme was well done. They came across looking like stars here. Legitimate top of the NXT card stars. This was absolutely well done. And Kross picked up the victory in the squash match. I still can't get over the name Kross. But it looked good. It was absolutely well done. And speaking of things I can't get over, Charlotte freaking Flair. Like she was head up versus Io Shirai. This was supposed to be a dream match, and you knew the action would be greatly done, and the action was great. I loved it. At the end of the day, man, like a kendo stick, really? That's how we're gonna end the match here? Like that wasn't the opportune result that people were looking for. We had Charlotte laying the beat down on Io Shirai, and Rhea Ripley comes back. She makes the save, and then she gets into it with Io Shirai, and as we come off from break, Rhea Ripley is talking about how she wants a piece of Charlotte. Like, no, you tapped out. You got to get to the back of the line, sister. This is Io's time. So we had a good backstage brawl with Rhea and Io. Like, we could have had Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai if they would have just had, I don't know, Rhea Ripley beat Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Like, Charlotte Flair is not needed here. I cannot stress that enough, man. The NXT Women's Division does not need Charlotte Flair. So moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we had Cameron Grimes, and he quickly beat Denzel Dejanay. And he started talking about he was going to slap Finn Balor in the face. This butt down Finn Balor. He laid the beat down on Cameron Grimes. And you know what? He said earlier that, you know what? The person that attacked him, they were looking for a push. They're not going to get a push. They're going to get squashed. So I'm interested to see how that storyline plays out. We're going to get Finn Balor versus Cameron Grimes next week. That should be a phenomenal matchup. Maybe the person that attacks Finn Balor will show up next week. So I'm interested to see how that all plays out. Moving on to the main event, ladies and gentlemen, we had Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream. This was a high-paced match move early on. It was a phenomenal match, but we had Dexter Lumis appear out of nowhere, and while he fought off the Undisputed Era, we had the bump where the ref goes out. Velveteen Dream has the match won. There's no ref to count. Like, I didn't like the interference overall. That's just me. I know they wanted to protect Velveteen Dream, but Adam Cole picks up the victory here. I didn't like the interference. Like, I thought it took away from the match. It took away from the ending. But Adam Cole picks up the win. We should see a rematch between Cole and Dream due to the interference. So that is it. That's the highlights that I'm going to look at from NXT, from AEW. It was an absolutely wild night, man. Like,